Bundy.
Whoosh!
No, it's not that. Look, you pulled another burger boner.
Let's rock.
Thanks, Dad.
Can I get a whooping?
Whoa, Bundy!
No Man presents, live from the nudie bar, the Married with Children podcast. And here are your hosts, Jerry, Justin, and Al.
Hey guys, it's the Married with Children podcast. It's Wednesday, and we're going to send you a show. Whoosh. So stupid. So yes, here we are. My name is Al. I am joined by the guy who pulled a burger boner, Jerry. What's up, Jerry?
I don't have a response to that one that's appropriate.
You're slipping, Jerry.
Yeah, I thought you were going to pull out some mayonnaise joke.
I guess I pulled a burger boner.
And we're also joined by the guy, you heard him, who likes to eat and fight cavities, Justin. What's up, man?
The toothpaste switch. Is that what we're calling it?
We are when you record a video of you taking a bite.
I was going to wonder if that was something that I'm going to have to do for the Patreon.
Oh, you are now, since I introduced you with it, yeah.
I thought I was going to be screwed because Steve's the one that took a bite out of it.
Right.
It was going to be aimed towards me.
Yeah, but you're more of the boner puller guy.
Thanks, Alex. Appreciate that.
So, hey, listen, I'm very methodical with these things. So, guys, we're reviewing a 3-job, no-income family, Season 3, Episode 14 of your favorite 80s and 90s sitcom, Married with Children. This episode aired April 2nd, 1989. It was directed by Jerry Cohen, written by Richard Gurman, Ron Levitt, many more. A couple of special guests, Teresa Ganzel, Pauly Shore, Kristen Jacobs, Dylan Kussman. Alright, well, this episode, when Peggy gets a job selling cosmetics and brings home more money than Al, he gets a second job to regain his self-respect. So, Kelly and Bud are on the couch, and Kelly is reading a male porn magazine, I believe, called Playtime. I guess it's Playboy, but for chicks?
I know there's a Playgirl. That's a real thing.
Right, it's a real thing, right. Well, the Bundys are weird with that because in this show, they started off with Playboys, and they kind of got their way out of it. I don't know why, because all of a sudden they started creating their own magazines, like Biggins is the big one you'll know about. Yeah, here, Playtime. I feel like we're going to see that again, too, eventually. But do you think that's appropriate that Kelly's reading that, or does that turn you on because she's into guys that much?
You know, I don't think it's not the next episode, but the episode after, where she brings up a comment that she might be 16.
I'm just killing time till I'm 17.
Yeah, well, then in 2 episodes, she pulls out a contract that said she can have a pajama party when she turns, after, she can start having pajama parties again after 16. And I'm like, well, did she forget about it for a year? Is she 16? Is she 17? I legit have no idea right now. So I kind of don't want to comment about her looking at nude magazines currently.
Oh, okay. Well, in November of this year, she'll be 17. So it is April. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it is accurate. So you get more caveman talk, like eating out. And Al just tells the kids to move over so you can sit on the couch. After what you just said, we're not going to get into Kelly slitting her skirt up to her chin then.
Yeah, well, she's practically a woman, but she doesn't cook.
One of the funniest lines, you know, Kelly says that when she wants to eat, she just gets a date and the guy will feed her. When Al goes, well, you don't date. How do you eat? And Bud's voice cracks like I never heard in my life. He's like, well, You know. And he tells Al about...
That was pretty good, man.
Yeah, I don't know how I just cracked my voice like that. That was good. Yeah.
But you don't date. How do you eat?
Well, just like the proud Indian, I've learned to live off the land. Now, for instance, well, let me show you what I mean. Now, you see this crack between the stove and the wall? Every now and then I'll find, say, a fuzzy M&M. You just peel the protective coating, and you've got a nice little dose of simple carbohydrates. And don't throw away that colorful shell. It makes a hearty base for soup.
Now don't forget, the shell makes a hearty base for soup.
Yeah.
For you guys out there. And no, we're not going to drink that for Patreon.
Oh, hi, Kelly. Honey, help me hide these before your father gets home. Oh, hi, Al.
Thanks, Peg. I had a French fry on the hook and you made me drop it.
It'll be there tomorrow. You know, I have a bone to pick with you, Al.
There wouldn't be any meat on it, would there?
No. I am really upset. I went shopping today. You know, spending here, spending there, to warm up to some serious shopping. Well, just when I was loose and ready, bam, you ran out of money. Look at these bags. This is what you make, Al. All of it.
Now, at this point, do you just want to strangle her? Like, these people, look at what they're doing for food at this point.
Yeah, it's really messed up. Like, I know they're going harder on the jokes, but the more often that I have to see everyone go without food while Peggy shops, I just sit there and just go, I'm starting to hate Peggy.
You need to actually call, like, child services at this point.
Yeah, this is spousal abuse.
So she's the worst mom, pretty much. Now, the Bundys only eat on Fridays, I guess. Maybe they eat Friday, maybe during the weekend, then they gotta wait again, because that's when Al gets paid.
Oh, Dad, can we have some money to go out to dinner?
Kids, today's Thursday. You know we don't eat till Friday.
Al, you are a total disgrace. Come here, kids. Here you go. You can always depend on Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
Mwah. Well, we may as well face it. We just can't make it as a single-income family anymore. Me and the girls talked about it over lunch, and we all agree you'll just have to get a second job.
You're that afraid I'll live out the year, Peg?
What's wrong with you getting a second job?
Peg, let me state this as clearly as I can. I would rather rip off my nose with a can opener. I would rather bob for apples in a sewer. I would rather have a catheter the size of a garden hose before I get another job to pay for your shopping.
Think it over. We'll talk about it later.
Did you ever have 2 jobs?
Yeah.
Nope. Don't believe in it.
Right now.
Yeah?
I haven't started the second one yet, but...
Wow.
Yeah.
This is your first time, then?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. Tell us what that's like on the season wrap-up show.
If you count this, I have 3. Except for I don't get paid for this one.
You get paid as much as Al. You get a cool nickel. Well, at this point with the Patreon, that is what you're getting, unfortunately.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm not even joking. Oh, God. So, Al could be a couple things if he really puts his mind to it. He could be a chicken plucker. He could be a sperm donor if he had some experience.
You know, I have a friend that runs a pit bull training school. Does Al have a protective cup?
What for? I'll put it down as a maybe.
Yeah, well, think about it. He could work his way up to the guy with the tranquilizer gun.
I don't know. Al's aim isn't very good. You've seen our bathroom.
And your children.
Now this looks perfect. No skills, no experience, no brain required.
Well, that's everything but his name.
Listen, the Patty Bright Company is looking for you to distribute an exciting new line of Patty Bright cosmetics. Unlimited growth potential, work in your own home, earn lots of S's.
Those are dollar signs, Ben.
Even better. Then it's settled. Al is going to be a patty girl.
Don't you think you should check with Al?
Hey, I did not have 2 children checking with Al.
Patty Bright Girl, which basically, guys, is their spin on Avon. Like, you ever see Edward Scissorhands?
Yeah. I knew people who sold Avon back in the 90s. Isn't it? It's like a pyramid scheme, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that what that is?
I think so.
It is, but it was more the door-to-door style selling instead of now what all that's evolved into is those like people that are selling you scents candles and belly wraps, and now it's way more into a pyramid scheme. But it used to be a little bit more legit because you would actually go door-to-door to sell makeup to housewives.
Isn't that awesome? Like, imagine you're a housewife in the 60s and there's barely anything to watch on TV. So all you really do is cook and clean. Then you got some lady who just shows up with a bunch of stuff you'd love. Your whole chore is to just buy it. Like, how great would that be? Like, that would be like us not doing anything all day and someone coming to our house with like a case of Blu-rays and games or whatever. Be like, all right, well, here, we can play all these and tell me what you think. I'll be like, okay. It seems like a great thing, right?
I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, hey, dude, are you coming back next week? For a chick in the 60s and 70s, this must have been heaven on earth. So I can see how they can make some money, maybe.
Oh, this is too good for Al. Tell me more.
Well, there are the petty parties.
You go to parties?
That's the job. You see, you throw parties, have your friends over, then watch the products sell themselves while you just sit and do nothing.
Well, I can do that. And to think I was just giving it away.
She wants Al to do this because she's so afraid of working, but she eventually feels that with the way the lady's talking to her and the way things are going with the conversation, and she shows her the check, and she says, it's all a party, you just have parties, and it just sounds great to Peg. She decides to work, oddly enough. So now we've seen her have 2 jobs, one in the clock.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were going to reference that, but maybe it's as forgettable as to them as it is to everybody else.
And us. I think they want to forget it as much as we do.
You know, I got to say, when the chick said she used to be a phone sex operator,
Mm-hmm.
I really thought Peggy was going to be like, well, how do I get that job?
Well, her mother eventually becomes one.
And for the record, Teresa Ganzel, who plays this Patty Bright lady, has been nude. So there you go.
Are you kidding
me?
Way. Yep, she's been nude. She has been topless in movies.
Wow.
It's it's like they just like purposely hire people. What's weird is there was no Google back then, so it's not like the guys at home could like, oh, she's hot. Let me check her out real quick. But now in this day and age, it almost seems like they were doing that and setting it up for the future. They saw the future and the potential and rewatchability when you have Google and you can Google the actresses.
And they really added a boost to our show. I mean, we get to bring this to light. I mean, how many Married with Children fans really thought of that? You know, they probably just watched the episode, it's whatever, but then to sit here and listen to an examination of it, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, so all these chicks I've been watching all these years, I can see them all naked? Like, this is a great deal.
She's pretty busty.
Oh, you're looking her up? Man, here I am doing the show.
Listen,
to be fair,
every time.
It's kind of our thing. We gotta double check. We gotta make sure that we're giving them. He was just checking to see if my source was credible.
Oh, okay.
He's making the show better by double checking my work.
We don't like fake news.
Yeah.
Right.
He's just doing my job. You know, I gotta say, even though we've kind of already passed it, there are some jokes in this episode that are really kind of mean-spirited.
Oh, yeah. Well, real quick, can we do the callback one real fast? Because you're talking about, I don't want to leave Teresa Ganzel yet. Did you notice the callback joke to episode 1 with her?
Which one?
Where she tastes the coffee?
Oh, yeah. I just like anyone that shows them in the house and puts anything in their mouth usually has a bad look on their face. When Al is getting told by Peggy that he needs to get a second job, and he's like, have I told you I loved you today?
Right.
And then that's all he says. And then when Peggy and Marcy are talking, she brings up that he could be a pit bull trainer. He could work his way up to the guy with the tranquilizer gun. Peggy's like, he has bad aim. You've seen our bathroom. Marcy's reply is, "And your children."
Whoa.
It's not the second one in a row, but this is the second time Marcy took a jab at the kids right in their face, right? Because didn't she say something about, well, you did give birth, didn't you? And she said, well, I don't know, I could have laid eggs. And she goes, well, we have a theory about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're just going at it. And every time Peg is in another world, like at this time she was like studying the ads or whatever. So she didn't pay attention. And I was staring at Peg's face to see her reaction to that, but she just absolutely didn't even listen.
Yeah, she doesn't really care.
No. As Justin said, the whole pyramid scheme thing, that's sort of when the people that think they're getting a job end up paying these people they're working for more in the initial process, then they end up giving up. So these people just keep on taking your initial process money, which if you ever get a job and they tell you, well, you got to pay us $100 so we could do a background check or...
Well, what do I need to start?
Just a deep and abiding belief in makeup. And our super deluxe patty party starter kit.
Well, how much does that cost?
$250. Oh, but that's just a drop in the bucket compared to your first month's commish.
Well, just how much commish are we talking about? Whoa! Will you take a check?
Sure.
Does it have to be good?
No, we'll just put a lien against your husband's wages.
I'm in!
Peg falls for it, even though this is slightly more legit.
That's a decent chunk of change.
But the lady says, like, your check doesn't even have to be good. It could just, we put a lien against your earnings or whatever. So,
lien against her husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, your husband's earnings, too. So, 3 weeks later, Peg is doing great. She's selling like crazy. She's making a lot of commission. Things are going well. Al buys the kids food, even though he's not using the extra money from Peg. So, that's what you meant.
Well, he doesn't know about that money yet.
Yeah.
He bought them food, and then the kids, these dirty, rotten kids, Al couldn't eat. And he was like, I hope my whining didn't bother you. And they had the waiter kick him out. How does that even work? Did he pay for it? Was it like fast food they paid for? No, because then there wouldn't be a waiter. You pay for the food at the end of the meal. How do you kick him out if he hasn't paid for the meal?
It's probably like, Dad, can I have the money for the food? Yeah, why? Waiter, can you get him out of here? You know, one of those kinds of deals. But Al did get some sugar water.
Yeah, that's true.
So
you should have went to one of those places where you at least get rolls.
And a lemon?
Yeah.
For your sugar water?
Yeah.
Look what I made!
Look, it's a check with Mom's name on it.
We love you, Mommy.
Save your breath. Daddy said I could keep it.
Okay, Peg, we know that Oprah isn't paying people to watch her show with their mouths open. So how'd you get the money?
I am a Patty Bright girl. I sell cosmetics in my spare time.
So it's a full-time job?
No, but it's full-time pay.
Gee, Dad, Mom makes more than you.
Do we still have to call him Dad?
Or do we call you Dad?
Well, I think the check speaks for itself. But let's go to the mall now. You can watch me spend.
Dad, can you pinpoint for us the exact moment that life passed you by?
Son, life didn't pass me by. It sat on my head.
Well, I still love you, Daddy. I just don't have any respect for you.
Well, Pumpkin, the feeling is mutual.
Oh, don't worry, Al. It's not like I'm gonna rub your nose in it. Everyone, guess what? I make more money than my husband.
Kelly should win like a little award here because she has just two. Remember how we tried doing a few easy lines on this show and we couldn't even do that? Like about chopping the tree and eating it or whatever. Kelly delivers these two lines amazing. So when she sees that Peg has money, the way everything about it, the way she turns to Peg and says, "I love you, Mommy." That was just amazing, dude. Like, it's just such a high quality, perfect pitch type of delivery and look on her face for the situation that's going on. Obviously, oh yeah, now you love me because I'm making money. And then the line where she says to Al, "I still love you, Daddy. I just don't have any respect for you." But the way she even delivers that, it was just perfect.
Oh my God. Do we still call him Dad or do we call you Dad?
Yeah.
Like, jeez. Even Buck growls at him.
Yeah, Buck. So Al's sitting there in a pretty, it seems like an iconic scene with him just, you don't see much of it online or anything, but him squeezing the toothpaste into the bread. If you listen closely, you could hear the guys in the audience, the live audience.
Oh, yeah. Don't do it.
Yeah, Al, don't do it. And then Al just like glares straight ahead. So that must have been great for the guy who said that. Then it seemed like Al was looking at him or whatever.
I hope that guy got kicked out.
Well, don't do it.
Yeah, I wonder what the rules were for the live audience, because eventually the show gets so big. Because remember, the Ricola thing happened in this season, early in the season. By season 4 and 5 and even 6, like, the audience goes crazy when these people walk in.
Do we know if this was filmed in front of a live audience? Because sometimes it's just a laugh track, and the crew actually adds additional, like, sound. So, like, that could have been a crew member for all we know.
Well, I remember someone posting something about being in the audience, and they were saying how, like, the cast would come out and talk to the audience before the show, and the person who got the most applause was Christina Applegate.
100% not weird.
Yeah.
Like, just imagine what we would be doing if we were there. Oh my God. I mean, they already put us on like a list, I heard, from the things we said on the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, Al squeezes a tube of toothpaste on bread. Now, this is pre-Tangwich. This came first. I don't know if he ever coined what it is, but he just said something about eating and fighting cavities.
But the important thing is, women have to work for their self-esteem. I'm proud of Marcy. I mean, even if we have to share the cooking duties because she's tired from work. Of course, my mother worked, and she cooked every day. Good, too. I like those frozen fish sticks and tater tots Marcy calls dinner. But I'm happy. Yep, I'm just a happy tater tottin' fish stickin' man.
Pretty pathetic, Steve.
No kidding.
We learned that Marcy is really not a great cook.
Which is weird, because when he did his whole, like, making her a slave thing, she was cooking Wellington and beef or whatever that was.
Beef Wellington and baked Alaska.
Yeah, and I remember I was looking that up, and it wasn't an easy thing to make. It was a little complicated. So I'm like, how is she a bad cook? I don't know necessarily want to say she's a bad cook.
She's
as much
a lazy cook.
I think it's probably she doesn't want to cook because, it's always the woman's job to cook. But she's not about that life.
Dude, that would not fly, man. That would not fly. I'm sorry. I couldn't do it. You're not the right person for me.
What if it was carp?
I don't like fish at all, so fish would be a very bad move.
Yeah, no fish will ever touch my grill. I can tell you that. So, Steve's, realizing his life ain't so amazing either. And which, it's great for the joke, but how often do you sit down at someone's house and pull a sandwich off of the plate that's in front of them and bite into it?
Especially at Al's house. Literally, in like the next 2 episodes, we're going to hear Marcy get scared that Steve might have eaten something there.
Right, exactly.
They've eaten and drank stuff there before. It has been bad. Also, Al does not get to eat a lot. Why would you take the man's sandwich?
I don't know.
This joke does not make sense
at all, for
the characters, but it is hilarious.
Right. It's one of those times you gotta let it go. Yeah, in the future, he says, no, I couldn't find the right wine that goes with slop.
Yeah. And this coming from a tater-totting, fish-sticking man.
Right.
How can she earn more than me? I can't... Would you like some floss with that, Steve?
Now, Justin, if you ate that sandwich, would you want floss with that, or?
Well, I'll let you know.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Before I eat it, I want one of those Listerine strips that you put on your tongue and they dissolve. Y'all remember those?
Yep.
Yeah, I still buy those. I like those.
Oh, wow. That was awkward.
Why? Do you not like those things?
God, who likes Listerine?
I don't know.
Oh, no one likes it, but it works. That's all.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I use it, though. I don't necessarily love the taste of beer, but I've drank thousands of them.
See, I don't drink beer because it tastes terrible.
I love the taste of beer.
Yeah.
I didn't when I was younger, but...
If I loved the taste of beer, I'd be dead by now. Believe me, like, you don't want me loving the taste of this.
I can't let her beat me. What I have to do is get a second job and not tell Peg. That way it'll seem like I'm a better salesman than her, and I'll get back my self-respect.
I know I'm getting to be repetitive here, but it's just how great Season 3 has been to us. Al gets a second job to maintain some dignity, and we have another set. And it's a fast food kangaroo burger joint.
No. It is not a kangaroo burger joint.
Yeah, he says...
He calls the burgers kangaroo, suggesting they're not made out of beef, but the place is called Burger Trek.
Oh, I know that. But I was just saying it's a kangaroo burger place. Because the guy says, yeah, tell the whole world, Bundy. So he is admitting it.
I don't think they... Wait a second.
Yeah.
Do people eat kangaroos?
Yeah.
What the...
I don't know if it's I don't know if it's allowed in the United. I know that certain places eat horse, but that's illegal in the United States. Even certain places in Canada, horse is prime.
Well, if Al's not home, he doesn't have to eat horse. No, but I heard you're allowed to eat kangaroo as long as there's a certain level of pouch in it.
Wow.
Back to this burger place. It's called Burger Trek.
Space, a final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission, to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
It's obviously a Star Trek themed hamburger joint. I knew this episode was coming up, so earlier on in the year, I decided to watch all 3 seasons of the original Star Trek show.
What?
Yeah, just so I could have better...
just so you can...
I think they're going to make a Star Trek joke, and Pauly Shore's on that episode. Should I watch Pauly Shore movies or Star Trek episodes? This is a tough decision.
Yeah, I went with 3 seasons of Star Trek instead of one
I don't want to sit through Son-in-Law again.
Exactly. So and here's the crazy part. I just finished the last episode of Season 3 last night, right in time for this review. So I think it was about 60 episodes, and they're all 45 minutes. So now I know well, really, there was no reason for that because there's no real reference. Huh, that was a waste of time.
You think?
But it was great, though. Well, I guess we have to talk about Star Trek on some level here because... Yeah, it's a Star Trek themed burger place. So, Star Trek, obviously, everybody should know. It's 1966. That was when the show from Gene Roddenberry first started. Starred William Shatner as Captain Kirk, Leonard Nimoy as Spock, and DeForest Kelley as Bones. And they just, they were on an Enterprise. They went to outer space. It was a 5-year mission. And we already referenced that here because our show is a 5-year mission too. because that's how many episodes are of Married with Children if you do it weekly. They reference it here because Pauly Shore says our mission is to send a burger where no burger has gone before. That's a reference to, in the beginning of the show, William Shatner says our mission to go where no man has ever gone before. And it's funny because when they do the new movies and they say that stuff in the beginning, they say where no person has gone before. Because I guess now, because that show was actually very sexist. It's like insanely.
Yeah, but it also was the first time on national television that a white man and a black woman shared a kiss on screen.
That's true. Michelle Nichols, and I just watched that episode. That happened in season 3, maybe in the middle of the season. And they did it because I think they were both under the power of a guy. He was like playing them as puppets. They had that kind of control for some reason. And he made them kiss.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, I always wondered if that's weird that they made them do that. But obviously, as actors, they did it willingly. But yeah, that's interesting too.
Now, here's our autobiography on Pauly Shore.
Oh, God. Trust me, guys, you'll love the Star Trek one more, but go ahead.
If I ever get a lecture from Pauly Shore, I'm ending my life. There is no biography on Pauly Shore. It's Pauly Shore. You know him from movies, and now you don't. Pretty
much. He was a pretty big... I'll never say big. Believe it or not, his main thing is that his family owns a comedy club.
Well, he made a bunch of movies in the 90s that people love to love and love to hate. Biodome, Encino Man, Son-in-Law.
Right. Man. Now, he's one of those guys that I instantly just look at and roll my eyes and hate. Now, he could be a really cool guy in real life. When he was on Howard Stern, I didn't really hate him. He's one of those guys who has been with a lot of girls from the Playboy Mansion. He slept with a lot of centerfolds. So that kind of made...
Hey, me too. Well, you never fell asleep next to a Playboy magazine?
Oh, God. How do you guys feel about Pauly Shore? Do you instantly roll your eyes and just dismiss him, or do you think of him as like...
Dude, he's the wheeze. He's wheezing the juice. I have no problem with Pauly Shore. Growing up, I actually really liked Son-in-Law. Biodome is kind of dumb. Encino Man is fantastic.
So these movies are good?
No.
Okay.
But if you're under the influence, they're better.
Well, he's still working today, even though what you said. He's in TV shows mostly. It's pretty much all. The newest thing he did was Sandy Wexler. I don't even know what that is, but he does a lot of TV work pretty much, and that's about it at this point. But as far as him on this show, I gotta say, he was good. You know,
he was underplayed. I guess this is obviously before he started getting big.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, he didn't have any of his catchphrases, and he just really seemed like he was playing it straightforward. And I was like, man, he could have actually played a depressed teenager rather well. I never noticed how good his voice is, like not doing catchphrases.
Mm-hmm. Justin, are you there? Yeah, I didn't think he was there because I keep asking about...
I'm sorry. I fell asleep back when Alex was talking about Star Trek. Did we get to Pauly Shore yet?
Oh, wow. Woo, bravo, Justin. That just...
Listen, I made a lot of nerds happy with that information. Wow, you guys.
I actually really like Pauly Shore. I like a lot of his movies. I grew up watching Encino Man and Son-in-Law and Biodome and In the Army Now and Jury Duty. Like I watched most of those. You know, I actually don't find him that annoying, honestly. Like he actually was really big, honestly. Like a lot of people don't know that how big that, like he was like the face of MTV for a little bit. I recently seen him on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. He seems a little bit washed up and like bitter that everything just went so downhill. Because one thing that I noticed about him is he truly misses being a star. And it's kind of sad. It's a little unfortunate. Like he really loved being, you know, in movies. He just loved being in movies. So
yeah, it must be weird when that's all over, you know, like you're the biggest thing and all of a sudden that job ends and you're like, well, hey guys, it's me. Come on. Everybody loves me,
Yeah.
right? Come on, let's. What do you want to do next? And they're like, well, we don't really have anything going on right now. Like, oh,
It's even way worse if like you're known for doing something and everybody loves it, and then all of a sudden they roll their eyes at it, and it's like that's kind of who you are, and it's like that was your identity for so long. So kind of tragic, a little bit.
But like his audience just stopped smoking pot, and they were like, "Well, it's not funny anymore because we don't smoke pot. We have 9 to 5 jobs now."
Yeah, that could have happened. It happened to Eminem.
Well, Eminem got off the drugs. That was the problem.
Ah, right. He stopped saying funny stuff. Yeah.
I'll tell you that I actually thought that I didn't know Pauly Shore was in this episode, and Jerry's right. Like that voice, it's actually he kind of kills this role a little bit. Like he does a very good job with it. Like and
100%.
yeah, I thought he was great in this episode, and it was toned down Pauly Shore. It was just an actor, you know what I mean? And I liked it.
Yeah. Well, one thing he doesn't like is when Al puts the beef squeezins on too early.
You didn't make the noise, Bundy. Whoosh! Hey, we got a lot of unhappy passengers out there, crewman Bundy.
Talk to me like a person.
Oh, like old dude? I had to leave the bridge to tell you this, but we've had a lot of complaints about this burger.
What's wrong?
Look, you tell me what's wrong.
Some pouch get in there?
Look, there's no place at Burger Trek for a rebel, Bundy. Come on, we got like a mission to accomplish.
To go where no burger has gone before.
Okay, yeah, right, that's good. Well, let's just start from the beginning, okay? What goes on a hamburger?
Tomato, onion, ketchup, pickle, and a squirt of beef squeezins.
Yeah, now that is our special sauce, Bunny, and that goes on last. You've been putting yours on first, and it's been washing the coloring off the tomatoes. Get with the program, Bundy. You're a disgrace to the hat. Oh, clean your station.
Marry a redhead.
Dude, like, okay, the meat substitute is pink dust that they have to add water to. Like, how does that make meat? I like how Pauly Shore's like, I got to do my homework. I don't want to flunk out of school and be a bum or a shoe salesman.
Yeah,
like,
and you can
those
see his
are on
face.
the same level.
You can see his face when he says shoe salesman, almost like he knows that Al is one deep down, so he has this weird smirk. It's like a half a smirk.
And then he goes, I never should have fired my dad. And I was like, Pauly Shore, you're depressing me. You've never depressed me in my life, and right now you're depressing me.
Yeah. I actually rewinded this to make sure that Al did put the sauce on wrong, in the wrong order.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. And it turns out he puts it on, and it's weird because Pauly Shore asks, how do you make a burger? And when Al goes through the list, he doesn't mention mustard, which is clearly what has to be in the yellow thing. He just said beef squeezins and then ketchup. He goes, no, you're supposed to put that on last. But Al puts the squeezins on with the mustard at the same time, then the ketchup. So it technically was wrong.
Hey, Justin, he's going to start talking about Star Trek and how to make a burger. We might need to find a new host.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, honestly, that's pretty cool that you went back and checked.
Yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. And what's even cooler that they actually were making it wrong on purpose, considering no one could go back and rewind at the time.
Yeah, who would catch? Yeah, right. And who would remember to pay attention because that joke is coming later,
Yeah, exactly.
Bundy.
Whoosh!
No, it's not that. Look, you pulled another burger boner.
What'd I do, send one out hot?
No, you send one out without onions.
Damn.
No, look, Bundy, hey, I'm not a bad guy. Let's just talk like, dude. Hey, see, I'm up on the bridge and I'm trying to do my homework. I mean, what do you want me to do? Like, flunk out of school and become like a bum or a shoe salesman? Look, just get back to work. God, I never should have fired my dad.
Would the crewman who overflowed the toilet please report to the bridge?
Yet again, should we make points for Al overflowing toilets at this point?
Look, I don't have time to keep up with all those kind of points. But it was hilarious when they called over the intercom in his face.
Yeah, it worked again. So luckily, they really do know how to make sure these kind of jokes keep working. It's weird.
Here's another commission check from Patty Bright Cosmetics.
How does she do it, Steve? How can she make more money than a man who sells shoes and burgers?
Al, I made more than you losing a tooth when I was a kid.
Well, how would you like to make a fortune tonight, Steve?
Why do I not remember those two?
Oh, man, that line is so... It's right before they find out that Peggy's been buying her own stuff.
I can't believe it. She can't sell more than me. Her customers must be morons. A list of idiots like that could be really worth a fortune to a good salesman. Damn, I wish I could find that list.
Well, maybe there's a clue in this book that says Peggy's customers.
Give me that, Steve. That might be it. Now get a pen, write this down. Here we go. Peggy Bundy, Peggy Bundy, Peggy Bundy. Here it is. Peggy Bundy.
Whenever she, because I guess like the appropriate way to do that would be to, pay the whatever, the $250, and then get 3 of your friends to do the same thing. And then they pay you, and then you're giving the product to them. They sell the product, I think that's how those pyramid things are supposed to work.
Or at the very least, just sell the makeup to other people.
Yeah, you're buying it yourself. You're clearly doing awful.
Here's the other thing. How does Al, not realize that she's taking his money to buy the makeup, keeping her commission check, and then using his money again to buy the makeup?
Right.
How does he not keep up with his money like that?
I would assume that it has to be like a savings or a bank account or something.
They don't have a savings.
But I just can't see who would have that much money on hand either,
They actually do have a savings.
What?
Yeah. So do you remember when Al owed money on the overdue library book?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, he said after that whole news story hit and they all wore bags on their heads and stuff, he said, he got up, they go, "Where are you going?" He goes, "I'm going to go pay the fine. It'll break us, but at least we don't have to walk around with a bag on our head." And he had every intention of doing it at that time. He wouldn't have gone to the library if he wasn't really going to pay her the money. And that was for $2,163. That means that Al had that, and apparently that's all he has, because he said it'll break him once he does it. Now, he changed his mind and decided, you know what, screw this, I'm not paying her, after she started rattling off with the insults. That's when all that turned around. But he had every intention of actually paying when he went. Otherwise, why go back? They do have money. So if she did take $623, it would be a fourth of what he has. But there would be money to steal. And I guess, would you notice that? I don't know.
Not without an app on your phone.
Yeah. But it's been 3 weeks that this has been going on. So he would have noticed that he lost $200 a week.
I don't know. They seem to be able to steal money off of him pretty easy, so...
Yeah, when she goes shopping, she has to easily have been spending all that, right? With all those bags she keeps bringing in.
Man, this episode makes Peg look like a complete idiot. Bad.
Dude, Peggy is the biggest jerk ever. My God.
I do remember in my youth, I went through a time when I really didn't like her. I was actually angry. And I think we're seeing why as we did. But I'm sure, and it's weird. It's guys, don't forget to make her likable. I mean, Jesus. You do realize that you got to keep people watching this. Yeah, Peg has been buying her own makeup and then getting commission for it. So basically what that means is if Peg paid $400 that week, well, let's just say $200 because that's what she did, $200 that week for makeup, her check for selling it would probably just be like $80 or even less probably. So I don't even know how everybody was so wowed by her checks actually. So that's weird. Hey guys, looking for a little bit more Married with Children podcast? Well, look no further than patreon.com. If you become a patron of our show, with a donation as little as $5 a month, you have a backstage pass to all the extra nudie bar content. As our first year wraps up here at the Married Children podcast, we have 2 video commentaries waiting for you. He Thought He Could, and You Better Watch Out. Watch those episodes along with us, guys. Some of the content that's coming up: Justin eats a toothpaste sandwich. One of us eat Tang Wipe. A review of Hondo. And what about that one movie Jerry mentioned Christina Applegate was in? We gotta get our hands on that. Remember, guys, for only $5 a month, you get the weekly show as usual and lots more Bundyful content.
Thanks, Dad. What is it, Al? Did I get another commission check? Did I? Huh?
Yes, you did.
Whee!
Yes, we indeed. Peg, since you're now an entrepreneur, I thought it might be a good idea for you to learn something about business.
From you?
Why not? You've taken everything else from me. You see, Pookie, since you're the only one buying your cosmetics, you're not really making any money.
Oh, yes, I am. They send me checks.
Ah, yes, but you send them much bigger ones. And that's what we call in the world of business sending your husband rocketing to the poorhouse. Why didn't you sell any makeup, Peg?
Well, like I told the girls, it's not very good.
Well, then why did you keep buying it?
Because that's how I make my money.
How much do we owe for the cosmetics, Peg?
Minus my commission?
Yes.
$623.
Well, at least you're not in real estate.
Where are you going?
We owe a lot of money, Peg. I know what I have to do.
You didn't make the noise, Bundy.
Whoosh.
And did you guys see the twist coming when the burger fell out down the chute and he goes, "You forgot to make the sound, Bundy," because that worked perfectly for the twist. And then it's Peg standing there and she says, "Whoosh."
I'm going to be honest with you. I did not see it coming because I thought it was another one of Al,
just loses again.
Yeah.
As in, did I fall for that it was still...
Did you see the twist coming?
Yes, I did. 100%.
Really? You knew that it would be her?
Yeah, I just didn't... I didn't expect it to be Al at all. Like, I just was like... I just figured that she's going to have to pay that money. Like, I just saw that coming so easy.
Well, because doesn't he sort of get up as if he's going to go do something?
Yep.
Like leave?
I guess he went to go tell her, "Hey, you're going to hire my wife."
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that's how we fall for it, because he gets up as if he's going to go there. So, yeah, I fell for it.
Yeah, I can see why you'd fall for it, but, like, that's just such a classic sitcom moment. Like, yeah, if you just take it as he stood up, yeah, I definitely could see why you would say that. But, like, I thought that was going to happen once I knew that she was taking his money and sucking up a storm selling that stuff. Like, I had a feeling that it was going to end with her. Like, I saw it way ahead of time.
Wow. Huh. Well, it's a big deal. Peg's working again. This is now the second time, I believe. Well, a third, because she worked for Patty. Later on she'll cry when Kelly gets a job, so it's pretty major for Peg. In the very last shot of Peg, when she's smoking and doing the switch sound, if you notice, over her left shoulder, she has mayonnaise in her hair. It's pretty gross.
Are you sure it's me? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, wow.
Why, do you think that Pauly Shore pulled a burger boner?
I mean, it's a possibility.
All right, guys, we'll be right back with the ratings for this week's episode.
No Ma'am will be right back to wrap up this week's review. Be sure to join their Facebook group page for all the podcast news and updates. Just type in www.facebook.com/groups/marriedwithchildrenpodcast. Be sure to subscribe to them on iTunes and please leave a review telling them what you think of the show. To subscribe to their YouTube channel, just go to channels and search up Married with Children Podcast. You can email them at marriedwchildrenpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for checking out this review. Now the guys are going to give their final thoughts and ratings of this week's episode.
All right, guys, so a 3-job, no-income family. How many kangaroo burgers are you whooshing down the chute for this episode out of 5, Justin?
Well, Al, I am whooshing 4 kangaroo burgers down the chute out of 5. I think that this episode is really funny, actually. And the only thing that I actually don't like about it is just how dumb it makes Peg look. Like, I think it actually almost hurts her character to be that dumb, because even when he's explaining it to her, she still doesn't understand. And it's just like, it's a serious dumbness. It's like, dude, you're going to ruin the world. You're so dumb. So, like, that kind of bugged me, but it was for the sake of comedy. So, like, I kind of go with it. I love the Pauly Shore guest appearance. I thought he was awesome. And I'm a Pauly Shore fan. So, like, that was cool seeing him. And I knew that voice instantly. I was like, is that Pauly goddamn Shore? What the hell? You know what I mean? And it was a good, like, this is a fun episode. This is a really fun episode. I probably could come up even higher, but 4 out of 5 for now.
Yeah. Yeah, Peg is getting dumb with she doesn't know what a tablespoon is. She doesn't know dollar signs. Like, how does Peg not know a dollar sign? A bunch of S's? Like, she's almost getting progressively dumber, almost like Kelly did, and still will. Okay, 4 out of 5. Okay, Jerry, how many kangaroo burgers are you whooshing down the chute for this episode?
I'm doing 3. For me, it's a pretty average episode. I don't necessarily care for the episodes where it's all about Peg putting Al into some kind of financial situation, especially when it shows Peggy in such a, like, negative light, because it's harder for me to enjoy the episode when I'm literally like, Al, just kill her. Just kill her and hide the body. No one will ever notice. She barely leaves the house. You've already banned her for Troy's. They're not going to notice she's not there anymore. You could get away with this. So it's kind of... So because of that, I can't go to a 4, even though I really like a lot of things in this episode. The whole Peggy thing just kind of drags me down and bums me out a little bit. So I'm just coming with an average 3 out of 5.
Okay. See, for me, the reason that doesn't weigh anything down is because it's really not an episode where any of that's happening. It all happens within, like, a window of 3 minutes that you realize that, oh my God, Peg's an idiot. Because the rest of the time, all you think is that she got a job and she's making more than Al. So the whole episode's sort of more based on that than the financial dilemma she put them in, which is only the tail end. He gets revenge by putting her to work, which is the ultimate, obviously, worst thing Peggy ever would want to do. So she gets her comeuppance, like, instantly, and like, if you look back on it, yeah, sure, we could say, oh, that's what she was doing to him this whole episode, but you don't really know that watching. That's why the enjoyment of the experience, it doesn't weigh it down for me based on that. But if I knew, then yeah, I'd probably just be irritated this whole time. Pauly Shore, yeah, it was I love that whole entire thing, that whole thing in the Burger Trek place. I love Steve's jokes, the intro being, not eating again, and the jokes that Marcy says about, I've seen your children, like everything. There's really not a dull moment here. So I'm going to go ahead and say 4 out of 5 kangaroo burgers whooshing down the chute for this episode as well. guys, be sure to tune in next week as we review The Harder They Fall. Steve is obsessed with the fear that an enraged driver may come looking for him. And wait till we get to that episode and I read the IMDb description. You won't believe what you're going to hear.
You won't believe what you hear next.
Wow, William Shatner reference. Nice. All right, guys, have a safe, happy new year. Don't drink and drive. We'll see you next year.